Welcome back to another episode of the Law of Attraction. Now, in this episode, I want to talk about relationships and how you can manifest the relationship that you've always wanted. Now, for a lot of people watching this, I assume that you've either been struggling to get into a decent relationship, you haven't been dating anybody for a very long time, can't find the Mr. or the Mrs. or Miss right, or you've been dating on and off from time to time and you just can't find the right person. You keep getting into relationships with the wrong people that keep cheating on you or treating you badly, or maybe some abuse in some cases or something, and you just haven't had that perfect match that you are looking for, and you're just struggling with your relationships overall. So this episode, I'm going to give you some advice on how to attract and manifest the perfect relationship. So first of all, just my background. I've been fortunate enough to be in a relationship, a committed, healthy, loving relationship for the past almost 18 years, if it's not already past 18 years. So I've been very fortunate. I was very young when me and my wife met. It was really maybe the first girlfriend I ever had, the first real girlfriend. And we just hit it off and dated for a very long time, a few years, got engaged, got married, and now we've been married for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. So I've been very fortunate. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking that if I've never had any issues or struggles with relationships, then what type of advice can I give you? But the question you need to ask yourself, do you want to get advice from somebody that's been struggling just the way you've been in similar form, or do you want advice from somebody that's made it work for such a long time? So I cannot maybe give you advice on what to do in those scenarios where you are in a toxic relationship, but I am able to give you advice on why you end up in those relationships, and I can give you the secret to a healthy relationship, what you need to do in order to have a healthy, committed, long-lasting relationship. So when it comes to the law of attraction, a lot of people want to manifest, as I said, the perfect relationship. Now I'm going to tell you how to manifest the perfect relationship. So there are a lot of people out there that will say that you need to make a list. You need to write down exactly the type of person that you want, exactly the type of person that you are looking for. And you need to write down all the attributes and qualities of this person, and then obviously start visualizing that particular person in your life, and then Bob's your uncle, it will just happen, right? But that's not the way to manifest at all. Not in a million years will you be successful if that's your approach. Reason being is because there are so many laws to the universe, universal laws that you need to obey. The law of attraction is not a law in itself where you can just visualize something and then miraculously that person will just come to you and end up in your life. Vibrationally, you need to match with the right person. Now, there's a universal law that states that it's the law of exchange, which says that you need to exchange an equal amount of energy for the energy that you want to bring into your life. So that person, that perfect person that you want, they bring a certain amount of energy on a vibrational level, actual energy that you can measure. They bring that into your life, or they bring that with them. Now, in order for you to accept that level of energy, you need to get rid of equal amounts of energy. In other words, you need to provide something in return. That's a universal law. It cannot work any other way. Think about this. Think about your life as a cup of water. Now, your cup, you were born with your cup completely full at 100%. So you cannot add any more water to that cup unless you get rid of some of the water. So if you get rid of, let's say, 20 milliliters, then you have space for another 20 milliliters, right? In other words, how the universal laws work is that you need to ask yourself, what do I provide? What can I give to the relationship? Because for a lot of people, especially people with a lower self-esteem or fear of getting hurt, will have all of these conditions when it comes to their partner or relationship, where they say, the next guy or girl I date better be this, they better have this, they better treat me in this way. And only once I see those traits will I open up and start giving them a little bit back. Now that's saying to the universe that, you know what, I do not want what you are willing to give me. I only want that, but on condition that it needs to happen in this fashion. It needs to be this kind of person. And the universe is telling you that in order to get that person, you can write your list. You can have your attributes and qualities of the person that you want. You can even choose the hair color, the skin tone, the height of that person, or the how tall they are. You can choose any of those, but before you can even begin to expect, you need to ask yourself, what are you giving? Because that energy has to be replaced. Now, for a lot of people struggling in relationships, almost most of them, I know a lot of people who have been struggling with relationships, and I can see the patterns in all of them. And I can see what I'm doing different than them. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm saying I do not have any restrictions based on the beliefs I have subconsciously, based on my upbringing. So for a lot of people, the majority, as I said, all of them have conditions when it comes to relationships. And these conditions come from somewhere. They picked it up somewhere. It was presented to them in whichever form, either through their parents divorcing at a very young age, going in and out of multiple relationships, and you as a child observed that behavior, and that got normalized for you. So your parents probably had a toxic, not toxic in a sense, but in a sense it is toxic because it's not a healthy, committed long-term relationship. So they had these types of relationships, and along the way, you recognized the patterns of your parent, either mother, father, doesn't matter, and that got normalized for you. Or it might even be that your parents are still happily married together to this day, but from a very young age, subliminally or subconsciously, your mother or father might have told you, listen, one day you need to get a partner that is this, or you need a partner that has this career or this amount of money. So they might have said something just along the line of, you better marry somebody that's got money one day so that you don't struggle like us, etc., etc. So they kind of programmed these conditions into your mind that you adopted, subconsciously stored it in your brain, saying that this is now my program, this is what I'm looking for, and if it is not that, I don't want it. If it is not that, I can't make it a success. So constantly you are looking for those conditions to be met in your partner or your potential partner. Now, how the law of attraction works is that you need to unconditionally accept anything from the universe, from the outside world, whatever it is that comes your way, but absolutely unconditional. So why have I been so successful in my relationship? The reason being, and I can obviously there are a ton of things that I do in my relationship and that my wife does in our relationship. But the main thing, if I can sum it up, is that everything is unconditional. When I wake up in the morning, I do not expect my wife to do anything for me. The first thought that comes to mind is, what can I do for her? I'm concerned about her well-being. So I'm thinking, I want to ask her, did you sleep well? I don't think in my mind, she better ask me how I slept because I didn't sleep that well. So she better ask me to prove to me that she cares. And vice versa. That's the first thought I have is, how did you sleep? I want to know, is there anything I can do to make your life better? And because of that, that energy that goes out, remember it's on a vibrational frequency level, and that gets matched by my wife. And even if it did not match entirely from the get-go, what happens when you give unconditionally is that person, something awakens in that person, and they realize that I'm getting so much from this person, from this other person, that I want to now start giving back. They start feeling guilty. My wife does so much for me unconditionally that I'm constantly looking for ways to almost repay her. Not in a financial way, but in life, as a partner. I'm looking for ways to repay her, to be a better partner. So I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly trying to improve my financial status. I'm constantly, and not my financial status so that I can buy some stuff to show it to the outside world, so they can think that I'm this fancy person. I'm doing it so that I can provide more for her. I don't care to get anything else out of the deal. If I get something, it's obviously a bonus, but I want to provide a better life for her unconditionally. I don't have this condition, or any condition for that matter, that says, I will provide for you, I will give more money to you if you give me something in return. There is no conditions. But because I'm willing to give unconditionally and unlimitedly, she's willing to reciprocate that and give to me unconditionally. It just happens. And here's the thing. It is a universal law that whatever you expel, whatever energy you expel, has to be replaced, because that's part of the universal laws, is that your cup that's 100% full needs to always be at 100% full. Now you might think to yourself, but I've never had a partner, so my cup clearly isn't full. You might have been given off the wrong vibration, the wrong frequency. So your cup can be filled with good things, or it can be filled with bad things. But either way, it is always full. So if you give off a negative vibe, if you give off conditional love, what that is going to be replaced with is conditional love, not unconditional. So if you've got all of these guards up saying that, you know what, I'm not going to open up, I'm not going to give too much, I first want to check it out, then you are frequently going to be matched with a person that has similar guards that will also hold back. One of the key things that I've seen in relationships that do not work out, or that are in that's got a lot of turmoil, and it might not be something you want to hear, but when you don't have a joint bank account, because finances is almost a magnifying glass to a lot of problems, a lot of issues in a relationship. So if you and your partner or ex-partners have always had separate bank accounts, he or she doesn't know what you earn or how much money you have, and vice versa, that's an indication that the relationship has conditions and you have some guards up and you're not willing to open up 100%. There's a big reason. If you've always been attracting people that are constantly cheating on you, why is that? It's because it's been normalized in your life that is acceptable behavior, and that you are that you lack confidence in yourself. So you might have seen, and I'm just using this as an example, might not be your situation, but you can always take this example and apply it to your own life, and kind of try and uncover, how does it apply to my life, and where can I change the script a bit to fit into my life. But let's assume your dad's always been cheating on your mom, or her partners, multiple partners, maybe only one. That gave you the idea that the man is in charge, and that the woman, which was your mom, is not worthy of unconditional commitment. So that might have spilled over to you, where you now believe that you're not worthy and you need to always fight and put up a guard. And so when you go into any relationship with that mental state, what are you going to attract? You're going to attract a partner that will comply, or that has to comply on a vibrational level to what you believe to be true about relationships. So you will, time after time, end up in a relationship with somebody that's not fully committed and that might cheat on you after a few months or years, days maybe. So in order to attract that person, stop thinking about how can I remain the same person and attract that person that will eventually end up loving me unconditionally, because you remain the same person. You can only attract the wrong people into your life. You might be looking at other people like maybe myself that's been in a long-term relationship, loving relationship, and think that I've just been lucky to find the right person. It's not about luck. When it comes to law of attraction, when it comes to anything that we manifest in our lives, there is no such thing as luck. It's all about on which frequency or vibrational level you are. It's because I had no conditions. I had no lack of self-esteem or lack of self-esteem when it comes to my ability to attract a partner that will be committed in the relationship unconditionally. So you need to, before you can write a list of all the qualities that you want in a person, you need to go back to the drawing board and say, what conditions do I have when I'm looking for a partner or when I'm going into a relationship? What conditions do I have? What fears do I have? And then unlock those fears so that you are aware of what you are going into that quest of seeking another partner. Now, the only way, unfortunately, it is very, very hard to change your subconscious mind, because it's a hardwired program in your mind that's controlling and dictating every single actionable step that you take. And that needs to change. Now, how you know you are busy changing? Because if you don't change, nothing will change. So how you know you change is if you look at, in some people's lives, maybe in your own, certain traumas will change, will alter the way you think permanently moving forward. And it's usually like a one-time event or a single event that is so traumatic that it will change the way you think. Unconsciously, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to reprogram anything. The trauma reprograms you by itself. Either sometimes it's somebody dying close to you, or you're losing a job, or losing your home, or whatever the case might be, but it's some form of trauma. And trauma is different for each and every person. But obviously traumas happen just at random. We cannot induce almost a traumatic event to get to that change. Nobody would want that. But the other way to do that is to consciously place yourself in a position where you are super uncomfortable. So the way you know, you might watch this video and hopefully think, well, this makes sense in some way. I'm going to use this information. I'm going to now let go of all of my guards and all of my expectations, and I'm going to attract the right person. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You can maybe override that consciously for a while, but your subconscious is so strong that it needs an immense amount of repetition and exposing yourself to a different environment in order to change it. Because, and I can go into much more detail on this in a later video, but it ultimately comes down to your mind believes, your subconscious believes, what it sees through the five senses. In other words, you cannot just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to let go of all of my expectations and then change your subconscious mind. You have to physically put yourself in an uncomfortable position where your subconscious mind has a fear of survival, but then it sees that nothing bad happened, and then that program is slowly but surely reprogrammed. and something new replaces that old belief. So just to give you a quick story, myself and my wife we stayed in one house, and then we moved to a different house in a little bit of an upmarket area of the country. And I felt so out of place. I did not want to be there. So for the first couple of months, I wanted to leave so badly. I've never spoken to anybody, so I couldn't say that people are bad. I just knew that I did not fit in with those people. And it took me a good couple of months, about 3 months, before that became the new normal. So I had to reprogram myself. And fortunately for myself, we signed a lease agreement, so I could not return back. If it was that easy, if I didn't have a lease agreement for about 12 months, I would have moved back to my the old area. And then similar thing happened. We stayed there for about 2 years, and then we moved to another, a little bit more upmarket area than the previous one. And again, same thing happened. I felt so out of place. But again, I signed a lease agreement. I could not get out of that. And this time around, it took me 8 months of being in almost disbelief of my place or my ability to fit into this new crowd, this new area, this new space. So I wanted to leave for 8 months. But then after 8 months, eventually that program got reprogrammed, that subconscious program got changed. And that became the new normal. And to this day, that was about 5-6 years ago. And to this day, we still stay in this area. And it's now the new normal. But it was super uncomfortable. I hated it. I told my wife every single day, we need to move. We need to get out of here. I tried to get out of our lease agreement. So the way you might watch this video and say, well, this makes sense. I'm going to try this. It's not that easy. If it's easy to make that decision, to get this new knowledge, and you make that decision or get this new idea or a level of awareness, and you just think differently, and now you think everything is going to be sorted, or you're going to now meet Mr. or Miss Right, it's not going to happen. But when it's uncomfortable, if it's tough, if it's hard, if you feel super uncomfortable in the situation you put yourself in, then you know you're busy transforming. Because again, vibrationally, you need to match with somebody that's not you, the current you. So you need to ultimately change. And when you change, there will be no need to write down a list of the requirements that you need in a person. That those type of people will just automatically, and this is by law again, will automatically be attracted to you. They will just try and push into your life, and you'll be able to choose who you want to date and who you don't want to date. So to recap, first of all, go and write a list of what you have to offer in a relationship, and then write down whether or not you are willing to, right next to all of those attributes or qualities that you have to offer, write down whether or not you are willing to give that unconditionally. Are you willing to pay for somebody, to support somebody financially who does not have a job, for instance? If not, that's a condition you have when it comes to dating, and you need to highlight that and get rid of that. You need to then put yourself in a position where you have to look after somebody financially, and you would not want it, and you're going to feel resentful, and you're going to feel all of those things. But eventually it's going to become the new normal, and what's going to happen is the universe will realize that you are now unconditionally giving. And remember, whatever form of energy you expel, whether it's love or care or money or support or protection or whatever it is that you expel, everything is made up of the same energy. The universe has to replace that. So the universe will recognize that you are unconditionally giving, and in time that will be replenished. That amount of energy that you lost will be replenished. It will be given back to you in the form that you require, and in a form sometimes that you least expected. You might think to yourself now that I want a partner that has X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. not knowing about all the other things that a potential person can actually offer you that will fill up your life with joy and happiness. But you might not even be aware of those things. But then those things might be open up. The curtains might be pulled back, and you might see a new level of happiness that you can actually gain from this person. So you need to put yourself in a situation that does not comply with your conditions. If it's somebody that if you keep on getting into situations where you are cheated on, then you need to ask yourself, what are you holding back? You might be holding back something, love, sex, commitment, whatever it is, but you might be holding back on some of those things because you first want to see if this person is committed. And then as night follows day, that person will cheat on you because they're not getting enough from you. So obviously they're going to go out and seek that or something from somebody else. And that's why you keep ending up in the same situation. So you need to again put yourself in a position where you do not hold back anything. Regardless of what this person has to offer, you do not hold back anything. Whatever it is that you have to offer, that you could offer to the perfect person, you need to give all of that unconditionally to the wrong person as well, and not hold back at all. And it's going to trigger your security system, your internal security system, if you will, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to feel resentful, and you're going to feel all of those things. But you need to expose yourself to that so that your subconscious mind can see, but hang on, I'm actually receiving back more than what I asked for, more than what I wanted, things that I didn't even knew could exist in a relationship. And that's how you change, and that will eventually become the new normal. And once that happens, that's when you know you've changed. That's when you know your subconscious program that's been keep attracting these unfavorable relationships just fades away, and the favorable relationships, the perfect relationships, will start coming into your life more and more. And at that point, you do not need to keep a back door open. So that, because that's a lot of people, they say, I'm not gonna give everything to this person because maybe they leave, maybe they cheat on me, maybe they do whatever, maybe they abuse me. So I'm gonna keep a couple of back doors open so that if this doesn't work, I can always go back to this person, or I can always go to that person. But you need to close all of those back doors. You need to not have that condition, not have the mindset that if something happens, I can pull out. Think about my release agreement. It didn't matter what I said or what I did. They did not release me from my obligation. I signed the contract and I had to commit to that for the next 12 months. And that's what made me change. And now it's been almost 6 years, and I'm still in the same area, same house. And now it's the new normal. Now I enjoy it. Now I love it just so much that I don't want to move. But 5 years ago, I did want to move. So when it comes to the law of attraction, focus on what you have to offer. Then uncover on which of those qualities you have conditions. And then get rid of those conditions by placing you in those situations, and keep exposing yourself to that, and not giving yourself a backdoor or an option B or a get out of jail free card, and commit to that for at least 12 months. And then that will become the new normal. And then whatever energy you gave out will be replenished. It has to be replenished by law. It has to come back to you, and it will. And as a matter of fact, you can actually ask for anything in return. So it's not if you give money, you need to get money. You can give money and expect something else. You can ask for something else. If you want money in return for money, then ask for that. But you can only ask once you've already given. So that's the gist of how to attract the perfect partner, how to attract a loving, committed, healthy, long-term relationship. For all of you who've been struggling with relationships, if you take anything from this, it's that you have to let go of any conditions, and it's going to be tough. If it's easy, don't bother, because then you know you're on the wrong path. It has to be tough, and you have to have no other option. I'm not saying get yourself in a dangerous situation. I'm saying get yourself in a situation that goes against your conditions with regards to relationships. So I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions, if you have struggles, if you have anything else going on in your relationships that I've not addressed, or that you cannot really truly apply whatever you've seen in this video to your relationship, you want more information, then contact me. Send me a WhatsApp, send me an email, give me a call. We can always schedule a one-on-one session. But reach out to me if you want to, if you need more help, and I'll be more than willing to help you. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.